October 18th. Your first one is 1961. Do I have any play people in here that might know this? Remember the PCA play? No. Alright, this was the movie musical that first came out. Starred Natalie Wood and Richard Famer and premiered in New York. What movie musical is this? And it's pretty famous. Cats.
What is Beauty and the Beast?
Thank you for your different answer. Maybe I'll take a notice what they say.
West Side Story.
West Side Story. Alright, here's your second one for today. What? This is October 18th, 1867. The United States took possession, or formal possession, of which state from Russia in 1867? Alaska. Exactly. Utah. And your last one for today, October 18th, this is 1931. Which very, very, very famous inventor died in New Jersey today, at the age of 84? Famous inventor. There's another one about the telephone line. Einstein was just a refugee in Nazi Germany in 1933. Do we know? Ralston?
Oh, light bulb guy. The name just went away from my brain.
No more light bulb.
Tom says.
Thomas Edison.
Light bulb. Light
2
bulb
for
guy.
3 for Bosman. Okay, guys, we are going to actually start a new unit today. So we've been talking about Freud's theory of, or his personality theory of psychoanalytic theory. You guys have been talking about Macbeth, but now we're going to kind of move on to a unit where we're combining social studies and English together. And we're actually moving on to a banned book unit. Does anybody know what a banned book is?
A book that was banned.
No? Okay, a book that you are not allowed to read in school. Someone has told you that you're not allowed to read it.
It's a book for musicians. I had to throw that in.
Thanks. Go ahead right now. I'm going to see what you guys already know about banned books and censorship. So go ahead and pull out your notebooks right now. Guys, within your notebooks, you're going to write this word in the very center of your notebook. The word censorship is a noun. You're going to create a word clock about anything that you know about censorship. So it might be a definition, it might be some examples, it might just be some terminology or some phrases that come to mind when you think of censorship. Okay, this is the noun. You can also think of it in the verb form, which would be to censor something. Does it mean to censor something, or what does censorship mean? Take about 2 minutes, see if you can create a word splash and jot down some words that come to mind when you think of censorship.
excuse the interruption. At this time, would all sophomores report to the cafeteria? All sophomores report to the cafeteria at this time.
Hey guys, let's see what you guys have so far. As we walked around, I noticed a lot of you have a pretty good idea of what censorship is, and there's some of you that might be struggling a little. So make sure that you get some of these terms down if you aren't really sure what censorship means or what to censor actually means. Oscar's going to jot them on the board. What is it? What definition do you have, or what synonyms do you have for censorship? And then I'll get some examples from you. Dylan Henline. Alright, what does it mean to censor? What is censorship? What did you get down for your definition for this? What did you have, Steve Barry? You had some really good answers for that.
To block out or cover up.
Okay, to block out or cover up. Excellent. What did you have for this, Eric?
Parent permission required.
Ooh, parental permission required. You have some examples of that in your own life where you've had to get parental permission?
No.
No?
No.
Has anybody had to get parental permission for anything that they've done? Do you have it in school? What have you had before, Dylan? Okay, to give blood. Okay, not really with our censorship, but have you had it before? Yeah.
Field trips.
Field trips. Okay. What about in other forms of school? Jackie?
To watch certain movies and stuff.
Good to watch certain movies. So sometimes in my psych class, if I show a video, you guys all saw Schindler's List in here. Before that got approved by the school board, we had to get parental permission. It's rated R. You're not only allowed to see it because you guys are underage. You have to ask your parents if you're allowed to see that. Example. What other terms come to mind when you guys think of censorship or to censor? Yeah? Filtering. Excellent word.
Filter.
Chelsea, what'd you talk about? Okay, so rating scales under censorship. Jimmy, you had a good one. What did you say? Profanity allowed oftentimes in censorship. What examples do you guys have for censorship? I know you guys are talking about a TV show you saw in here. What other examples might you have of something that has been censored, or maybe a TV show about censorship? So you okay.
Discrimination.
Okay, how so?
Like the book Tom Bernal was not a very fan. It was banned in a lot of places because of the
Okay. Glad that you brought that up. I'm sure that's going to
Racial issues, racial. I was hoping someone would bring up something. Good job.
Discrimination. Jackie?
Aren't there like certain times that certain shows are only allowed to be on because of what they say?
Usually on your radio station or your TV channel, depending on what time it is. If it's a time period where younger kids, elementary school kids, would be at home, they might not be around their parents at that point in time, usually only allowed to show certain shows at that time. If it's past like 11 p.m., they assume that kids are in bed, and then you can see some of the shows that are on Saturday Night Live. Some of the topics that they discuss usually aren't things that are being shown to you at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. when kids are off to school. Excellent, excellent. What else is censored in your own life? Language. How so?
bleep button.
Okay, the bleep button, oftentimes on TV. Sometimes if you ever watch a movie on TV, if you've seen it in the theater, is it the same exact thing? No. What are they taking out usually? What? Okay, and it might actually cut pieces out completely out of the video, especially if it's a joke that they would consider inappropriate for TV at that time. If it's words, right?
See the mouth make one movement, but a different word comes out.
Uh-huh. You're waiting for it, it's just not there. What else?
Door.
What's else? else do they do on TV? Anyway, so they bleep things out. What else if you're actually viewing it with your eyes? They blur things out. Okay, so they might cover up parts, things, can't tell what it is. Or the black bar, that you might have noticed if you ever look at some magazines. Right, I think it's, is it people that people are wearing something, it's like what not to wear, and they always black out their face, so you can't tell who it was. Okay, censored, you don't know who it is. Anything else?
You turn on the television, what nowadays comes on in the top corner. TV now, not just movies, but TV shows.
Your video games? What did Call of Duty say on the
Rated
inside?
M for mature.
What is it?
Rated M for mature.
Okay, so you want to use that one.
Fly by it.
Okay, so rated M for mature, so you have video games, you have movies that are rated for you. We'll try to censor them. And then also your TV shows.
Any of you music lovers? Yes, sir? Any idea why I asked if anyone was a music lover?
Because there's ratings on music and then on iTunes, they have very explicit content. So
Oh, I did not know iTunes. I don't have much experience with iTunes. Very good. Anything here at school?
Not at all. Hannah? Okay, your laptop, internet, you guys go on any site that you guys want to go on. No, you can't. Censor, it's blocked out for you.
Well, firewall.
Well, you guys have an excellent list of things that have been censored for you. So if we talk about our definition of what it means to censor something or what is censorship, it is usually the blocking out or the covering up of materials that people usually deem inappropriate for you. Okay, so blocking out or covering up.
I'm gonna add one word to that. Restrictions.
Okay, so restricting material that somebody has deemed inappropriate for you. Material that someone has deemed inappropriate. How do you guys feel about censorship with all these issues? Do you agree with censoring your TV shows? Do you agree with censoring your movies? What are your thoughts on censorship in general? That?
I don't like it.
Okay, why?
It's not the same changing what it was.
Okay, so it's not the original work. No longer, it's not everything. Okay, yeah.
you kind of argue both ways sometimes in the middle.
Okay.
Because for some people, I mean, there's, in a sense, so many person the right to view whatever the heck they want.
Okay.
And then, there's so many different groups of people, so it's kind of hard to generalize the public.
Very good.
So, in general, the public like this.
Anybody else have your thoughts on censorship?
I think it's good because like you have younger kids that they don't need seeing everything when you're done.
Okay.
Or you don't still need to be watching what they have to do.
Okay, so there are the two mature for that, you know, with that. Anybody else? If there's a reason that we're talking about censorship, say, if you guys noticed your essential questions up here, or the point that we're driving at here, how does censorship relate to banned books? That's the unit that we're getting on. How many of you have had to fill out a parental permission slip for a book that you might have read during high school or middle school when you were younger? Fill out any parental permission slips? At high school? Yeah? What have you guys filled out for?
Just get their signatures on the book. Yeah. Now that, of course, was not as much censorship as it was letting your parents know what you're reading in school. But in some cases, your parents might have exercised some censorship on that score.
Has anyone had their own parent when Mr. Rouse gave you that signature that said, no, I really don't want you to read that? You knew enough about the book that they said, no, that's something I'd like you to be reading. Really? All the parents were reading that? Okay. How does censorship relate to banned books, if that's the topic that we're driving at? How does censorship relate to banned books? ones that are close to us. This time you guys are in here, we're gonna read an article from Littlestown. It's only about a half hour away. And they had a huge issue with the banning of books. Their parents did not want anybody else reading a certain book. Okay? Why might somebody censor a book? Or why might somebody write in and say, let's ban this book, let's make sure that nobody within this school should read it? What are some reasons as to why someone might ban a book? Huh?
That might not like the use of language.
Okay, language? Alright, so language or profanity within the book, okay? Taylor? What was it? Okay, the personal morals that they had, oftentimes it might be based on religious aspects for that. Becky?
Sometimes they think the characters who the book might influence what other people do.
Okay, they're afraid that a child or a student reading that might change their behavior or influence them. They do? No?
Inappropriate pictures.
Okay, pictures, if it's a picture book, pictures involved, or even sometimes a textbook has pictures. Yeah. For other reasons are books banned? Think of elementary school books, think of books that you have read recently. I will tell you that you just read a banned book in this class. You know what it is? Lord of the Flies has been banned in many, many high schools. You guys just read that book. Why do you think people might have banned Lord of the Flies? Other high schools not allowed to read it. Yeah? Okay, so name calling with that, especially in elementary schools, you'll see name calling in books they don't want in there. Okay?
Because kids under the age of 12 are killing each other.
Okay, the amount of violence that they have in there. Okay, so violence would be an issue within books that they can ban for. Any other reasons as to why Lord of the Flies is banned? Yeah?
Because there was a reference to like
Good thought.
It's a good thought, but I'm not sure if that has ever come up. I think it's mostly the kids perpetrating violent acts, not letting each other hate hunting scenes, kind of graphic and.
Or the sense of evil that they talk about in the book, especially with younger kids. Like they don't want people understanding 12-year-olds are they evil? The entire concept to them is out there.
What do they set up the Lord of the Flies sort of like? He's not the big one, but maybe over the island, he's almost a what? Must have been God, right? So there probably have been religious objections to that as well.
Think about some other reasons as to why books might be banned. Think about maybe the young kids, think about kids that are your age. Why might parents object to a book, or why might other committees or agencies or groups of people object to a book being read? Bill?
Political views or something like that?
Something that they've done in the past? Let me give you a hint. I'll tell you this, did you know that Harry Potter has been banned in a lot of schools? Why might Harry Potter be banned? What's in it? What's the concept that's involved that parents say? Okay? Okay, witchcraft. What else along those lines might be banned if you're thinking that way? Witchcraft. What else? Wizardry. Is that right? Wizardry? Magic. Religious aspects, they don't want their children in that.
Think of biological things. I guess that's what it seems like to do.
Yeah.
Biological, biology. How my parents read it? Yes.
They don't want their parents to hear anything about evolution. Just so they.
Well, possibly, that's not what I had in mind, but yes.
Right, but a reason why textbooks could be banned. It's not what I know Mr. Mouse had in mind for that, but.
Or on the lines of biology. Birds and bees.
Anybody?
Yes?
They don't want that many pages reading any sexual references.
Sure. That's a big one, huge one. Especially what kind of sexuality is supposed to be a real big problem.
Women? David Crowder.
What?
Now.
Wow. Been nice knowing you, Dave. You look at this,
Sexual references. You guys already know what the book we're gonna read today. We talked about
Yes,
Sexual.
homosexuality.
sure. That is another huge reason.
Are we still talking about Harry Potter?
No.
So it's just one example.
I was about to ask you that in the wife.
That was one example. That was back to your witchcraft.
General book banning reasons. Anything else? Not a bad list.
No, maybe this for you guys. So we're gonna talk to you guys, and you all should be forming an opinion if it's okay for a group of people to come in and ban a book for anybody else to read, or if it's okay for maybe a parent or two to say, I don't want anybody within this entire school to read this book. You should be forming an opinion at this time. I'm gonna go over a couple things with you, based on your First Amendment, some of your Bill of Rights. Hang it up to that section. Think so?
Hey, Zach, you're willing too. How you got me?
And I know you guys are really, really excited about your Reader's Bill of Rights. Mr. Bass is going to go over your First Amendment with you first.
Take a look at the side that says Reader's Bill of Rights on the one side and Amendment 1 on the other side. Amendment 1 to the Constitution of the United States of America. I bet you've heard of that. Right? First Amendment?
Oh yeah, especially in government right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, our First Amendment, the exact wording. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. What's a redress of grievances? You know what that means? Redress does not mean to change your clothes. It means something else. Redress of grievances. What's a grievance, first of all? Complaint. So, you're someone who has a complaint, do you want the complaint to be continued, or do you want it to be corrected? What's that, Jack? Corrected, probably. That's what redress of grievances means, correcting of problems. Okay, let's see. So we have free speech, freedom of religion, freedom of press, meaning printing, newspapers, books, and the right to assemble peacefully in a group to make protests. Okay, all of these things are in news every day. Okay, remember the First Amendment. And the Reader's Bill of Rights on the left side has been referred to many times. It's actually posted in our library. Okay. Now this refers to anybody who goes to the library to choose a book. Okay. Now not all of these things have to do with when Mr. Faust assigned you something to read. Okay, keep that in mind. Because the first one is the right to not read. And again, of course, you could choose to not read. You don't have, but I guess you do have the right to not read. But this is just for people who go to the library. You have the right to not read, believe it or not. Okay? Nobody's going to force you to do that. The right to skip pages. The right to not finish. How many of you have never, or have had a book where you just got halfway through and you're like, wow, I hate this. I want to finish this book. Okay. The right to reread. Anybody ever reread a book? Good job, two of us. The right to read anything. That has to do with our current topic, doesn't it? The right to escapism. What's escapism? No. Escapism. Anybody ever heard that word before? You ever heard of escapist entertainment? Escapism and escapist entertainment has to do with something you would do to just kind of forget about the real world and put your problems behind you for a temporary time and go off into the world of a book or a movie or a video game or something like that to escape from the everyday humdrum and the everyday pressure. The right to read anywhere, but not while you're driving the car. The right to browse, the right to read out loud, and the right to not defend your taste. Have you ever talked to someone who said, why do you read that stuff? Why do you read that? I hate that myself. Ever anybody talk to you about that? Anybody hear a vampire book, a fan? Other people say, hey, read vampire books, what's wrong with that? Ever had that happen? Okay. All right, you don't have to defend your taste to that. Okay, the Reader's Bill of Rights. And I think you can see how a lot of that has to do with censorship, especially the right to read anything.
Alright, we also, we talked about right now, we have freedom of speech, we have freedom of the press, for anything. We also have intellectual freedom. What does it mean to have intellectual freedom? Freedom to do what? Taylor? Learn whatever you want. You have the right to pursue knowledge in its basic degree. You have that right to learn about whatever you want. And oftentimes that pertains to going to the library. Okay, there are books down there that you're more than welcome to check out. If you have an interest in that topic, you're more than welcome to read through that book. A lot of it is based on, if you flip it over, your library Bill of Rights. Okay, so you guys have gone through the Reader's Bill of Rights, which is based on you as an individual, but our library also has a Bill of Rights, and here's what it does for you anytime you enter into the library. Okay, let's skim through this and see if I can get some readers. At the very top here, the American Library Association, okay, so oftentimes it's a group of librarians come together. They affirm that all libraries, so your school library, your public library, no matter where you are forums for information and ideas. Okay, it's a wealth of knowledge for you. And they all follow this basic policy to guide their services for you as the reader. Let's skim through some of these. Can you read the first one for me, please, Chelsea?
Books and other library resources should be provided for the interest, information, and enlightenment of all people of the community the library serves. Materials should not be excluded because of the origin, background, or use of those contributed to it.
Okay, so they're telling us that no material should be excluded based on some of these views. Okay, we've talked about religious views, so we not when you're reading it, political views of the author. Your library says no. It should be available to whoever would like to read it. Good. Number two, can you read that one for me, please, Ray?
Libraries should provide materials and information presenting all points of view on current and historical issues. Materials should not be prescribed for removal because of arson or doctor disapproval.
Okay, so if it's something that you don't agree with, we talked about racial discrimination. Huck Finn might have been removed from the library because people don't agree with it. It's a historical issue. Okay, some people have a problem with that. Alright, here's the big one, especially for the topic that we're talking about. Can you read that one for me, please, Reza?
Libraries challenge censorship and the limit of their responsibility to provide information.
So the job of a library is to actually challenge some censorship. They don't want to restrict materials for you. They don't want to restrict books or take them off the shelf because someone doesn't want you reading them.
Please note the date this was adopted down at the bottom. 1948. Long time.
Yes, it's still reaffirmed again in 1986. And number four, can you read that one for me, please, Crystal?
Libraries should cooperate with all persons concerned with resisting infringement of free expression and free access to ideas.
Good. And abridgment, you guys saw that with your First Amendment. Abridgment means to take away or shorten, cut short free expression and free access. Number five, please, Danny. appropriate, that would be worthy of you to read. Do you trust him to do that? Nod your heads up and down.
Talking about that in this way in school.
What?
Do you think you get violent?
Good violent tendencies. Do you trust, somebody else's parents to choose for you? Whether or not you should read that? Why not? Why not, Mel? You said no. Right, they might not believe in the same thing you do. Taylor, you also said no. Why do you say no? And just your differences in opinion. There? There? It's your parents. Good, very good. That? Okay. Think about age. I mean, that's an excellent thought there. Think about ages. Should your 6-year-old be able to choose no matter what? Okay. What about your 17-year-old? You guys are 17, 18 years old now. Should you be able to choose what you want to read? Okay. Think about it in two different ways. Right now, you guys are under the guardianship of your parents, and they have a legal right to you. So at this point in time, if they don't want you reading something, or even when you were younger, they have the right to say, no, I don't want Hannah Kingston reading this book. Okay? But should one parent be able to tell all of the kids, no, none of those kids should read that book? Should that be their right to do that? Okay? Think about that as we walk through our books today.
One question, one person deciding for a whole, or like, say one person decides for the entire country, wouldn't that be a socialist movement? In a sense, because then it's generalizing the entire public image.
Okay, so it is a generalization for the public, but usually what's happening is a parent finds out that a certain book is in the library. They might have not even read it, or they could have read it. They disagree with the book. They come in. Usually they might talk to the librarian. I know Mr. Cerner has gotten calls before. They say, I don't want this book on the shelf. But usually there's a process now that the librarian says, okay, let's list the reasons why it shouldn't be in here. Maybe they look into it. Maybe they look into different reports of the book. And sometimes there's book reviews out there that explain it. And then that will go to an association that decides in that group should that book be on the shelf or not. Right, so in the end, it might be one person saying, I don't want it there, but then the group will end up deciding.
We've never banned a book in athletics, but we've had objections made to books. Okay, in my own teaching career, I've had parents contact me about various books. There's Fahrenheit 451 because of censorship. And it resists censorship, and parents who were very interested in censoring what their kids read thought that was bad influence. I've had complaints about Huckleberry Finn because of the N-word. I've had scholarly books because of profane language, mice and men, mice and men, swear words in that book. Yes, sir.
About 2 years ago, remember this, we had, there's a book in the library. I think it's a middle school age book, and it might be in the middle school collection. And I'll let you guys look for it, but it has the F-bomb word in it. Yeah, and it's sitting down there. I don't remember which one it was, but I had a couple of phone calls about that because several kids, they took the book out, not because it has the F-bomb in it. They took it out because they wanted to read the book. The parents just, I think the kids read and said, oh, Mom, Dad, look, the F word. And we got phone calls on that. It's still down there though. We didn't take it off the shelf.
We do want to provide you guys with that freedom to pursue knowledge, okay? Oftentimes there might be books in a school that deal with teen pregnancy. Okay? And parents say, I don't want my child learning about that. Okay? But do you have the right to go and read if that's a topic that might be of interest to you or of a friend? Do you have the right to go and check that out, learn more about it? Guys, today we are going to look at children's books that have been banned. Next time that you guys are in here, we're going to look at books that you have probably read. I know some of them you were required to read that have been banned in other high schools. But before we get you guys off. We're gonna show you one book and how we're gonna work through this. So I'm gonna give you a worksheet, but let me explain this before you guys do anything with this so far. Go ahead and put your name on top. Dates the 18th. Every day. Now guys, you have a little kind of large T-chart in front of you right now, and here's what you're going to do when you go down to the library. We're going to read a book to you first so you guys can understand what it's doing. When you get down there, you're probably going to look at anywhere from maybe 2 to 4 children's books. They're not going to take you very long to go through, but you will be reading them within your group. When you get to your book, you should write down, obviously, the title. You should write down the author of your book. And then where I have the cover or the title page, I just want you to look at the book from the front side. I want you to flip it over, read the back cover, maybe open it up to the first page and just read through that first front cover. See if you can find anything that you would say, if I pick this book up, I would think that maybe somebody might have a problem with it. Sometimes you'll find it, sometimes you won't, just looking at the cover of that, or the title. Okay? After you have read the book within your group, you're going to tell me the overall banned reason. Why did somebody challenge this book in the school? Why is it oftentimes pulled off the shelf within classrooms or within a library? You might have several for this. Right, we'll talk about some books where you might have religious aspects, you might have homosexuality, you might have magic, all of those are involved. So make sure you're looking for more than just one overall banned reason. Okay? And for your last part here, it says specific examples or the page numbers within your book. Tell me if you found a word that you probably wouldn't use for small children. It might have been a picture. If you're looking at all picture books today. Right, so specific examples of why that book had been banned. Okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. When you're going over those books in the library, take your time with them and put all 3 of them, we're going to be on verses 3, put all 3 of the minds to work, okay? Because as Ms. Starner has said, sometimes more than just one reason. Sometimes there is just one, but many times more than one.
I'm going to read you a children's book that is one of the most commonly banned books in elementary school. Okay? As I'm reading this, I want you to think about whether or not you, as a parent, want your own child reading it. And I also want you to think about whether or not this should be banned for all students. Okay? Should one person or one group of people be able to make a statement that nobody in elementary school should be able to read this book? Okay? So this is actually going to be number 1 on your chart, so you guys know what you're doing as you go through this. Your book is called Entango Makes 3. Entango Makes 3. And your authors, you actually have 2 authors for this. It would be Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell. Parnell. P-A-R-N-E-L-L. Now for your second part here, you're going to look at the cover page, and you might also look at the inside flap here. Just taking a look at my cover, your title, or oftentimes the back. Does anybody see anything that they say, this might be a challenge book, this might be a reason why it's a banned book? When you read through the inside cover, it says, in the zoo there are all kinds of animal families, but Tango's family is not like the others. Anything so far that would lead you to believe it's going to be a banned book? No? Okay, you can put none on your chart for that, because there really isn't anything that you might notice for that. Okay, let me read this to you. I just want to have a conversation, a discussion about our book at the end. Alright, this is Entango Makes 3. In the middle of New York City, there's a great big park called Central Park. Children love to play there. It has a toy-boat pond where they can sail their boats. It has a carousel to ride on in the summer and an ice rink to skate on in the winter. and their parents aren't the only families that live in the zoo. Oh, not the zoo. Only families at the zoo. The animals make families of their own. There are red panda bear families with mothers and fathers and furry red panda bear cubs. There are monkey dads and monkey moms raising their noisy monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families and cotton-top tamarin families too. And in the penguin house, there are penguin families. Every year at the very same time, the girl penguins start noticing the boy penguins, and the boy penguins start noticing the girls. When the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. Two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other was named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys. They did everything together. They bowed to each other, and walked together. They sang to each other, and swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend much time with them. Instead, Roy and Silo wound their necks around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Ramsey, noticed the two penguins and thought to himself, they must be in love. Roy and Silo watched how the other penguins made a home. So they built a nest of stones for themselves. Every night, Roy and Silo slept there together, just like the other penguin couples. And every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that the other couples could do something they could not. The mama penguin would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it hatched. And then there would be a baby penguin. Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. It was only a rock, but Silo carefully sat on it. And sat. And sat. When Silo got sleepy, he slept. And when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam and Roy sat. Day after day, Silo and Roy sat on the rock. But nothing happened. Then Mr. Ramsey got an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for, and he brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. Roy and Silo knew just what to do. They moved the egg to the center of their nest. Every day they turned it so each side stayed warm. Some days Roy sat while Silo went for food. Other days it was Silo's turn to take care of the egg. They sat in the morning and they sat at night. They sat through lunchtime and swim time and supper. They sat at the beginning of the month, and they sat at the end of the month, and they sat all of the days in between. Until one day they heard a sound coming from inside the egg. Beep, 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 beep. It said, Roy and Silo called back, squawk, squawk. Beep, beep, answered the egg. Suddenly a tiny hole appeared in the egg shell. And then, out came their very own baby. She had fuzzy white feathers and a funny black beak. Now Roy and Silo were fathers. We called her Tango, Mr. Ramsey decided, because it takes two to make a tango. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her food from their beaks. They snuggled her in their nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin in the zoo to have two daddies. Soon Tango grew strong enough to leave the nest. Roy and Silo took her first swim, just like all the other penguin families. And all the children who came to the zoo could see Tango and her two fathers playing in the penguin house with the other penguins. Hooray, Roy! Hooray, Silo! Welcome, Tango! They cheered. At night, the three penguins returned to their nest. There they snuggled together, and like all the other penguins in the penguin house, and all the other animals in the zoo, and all the families in the big city around them, they went to sleep. And that is Tango Sleep. I want you to think about the story that I read to you. Okay. If you have an overall reason why this book was banned, go ahead and jot down why you think this book has been banned in elementary schools. I think this book has been banned in elementary schools. Alright.
Would the following students please come to the guidance office?
Jacob Luntz, Chase Higgs, Hunter Taylor, Brittany Arntz, Allie Cromer, Gabrielle Carrata, Monica Daniels, Hope Rohrbach, Lily Aguilar, Lakin Talbert, and Chantal Gaskell. All to guidance, please. Chantal Gaskell, Lakin Talbert, Lily Aguilar, Hope Rohrbach, Monica Daniels, Brittany Arntz, Allie Cromer, Gabby Carrata, Jacob Luntz, Chase Higgs, and Hunter Taylor.
Alright, what was your basic reason that this book hasn't been, what's the theme of the book? Homosexuality, yes, homosexuality for the book. Think about this. Do you think this book should be on shelves in elementary schools? Now, there's two different ways we talked about. Okay, we talked about the fact that you as a parent might not want your child reading it. We've also talked about intellectual freedom, the fact that anybody should be able to pull a book off the shelf. Okay? Should it be available for most students? And if a parent would like to request they not read it, they can do so. But should this book be sitting on the shelf in elementary school? Jackie, you're shaking your head. Yes, can you tell me why?
Anybody should be able to read that book in high school.
Okay. Be allowed to? Intellectual freedom? Okay. Somebody else, should this book be allowed in elementary school? It's been banned quite often, and it should not be allowed.
No, I don't speak for Catholics here, because in the Bible it says homosexuality is sin.
Okay.
Chandler Roby to the high school office. Chandler Roby to the high school office.
And I asked you to go back here. Taylor had said before that if your views are different from somebody else, does it mean that someone should be able to read it? Does that change your thoughts at all? Okay. Taylor, you had commented before that you said there's different views if one person can decide. What are your thoughts on entanglement expiration?
Hannah Mangus to the high school office. Hannah Mangus to the high school office.
But somebody else wants it on the shelf.
Okay. Okay.
For those little kids, it's just since they're doing, they're not gonna think about that.
Okay, for your child. Okay, you might be reading this, maybe someone reads this to you in kindergarten, maybe they read it in first grade. Do that. Can I read you the end part here and see if this makes a difference to you? This is the author's notes that he writes on here. All of the events in this story are true. This is a non-fiction story. This actually happened. There were two penguins, Roy and Tyler. They actually had a baby named Tango. This is a non-fiction story. If someone who's doing research on a penguin, this would be a book that they might look up. Okay? Let me read this part to you. It says, all of the events in this story are true. Roy and Silo are called chin-strap penguins because of the delicate line of black feathers that loops under their beaks as if to hold a hat in place. After years of living side by side in the Central Park Zoo, they discovered each other in 1998, and they have been a couple ever since. Tango, their only chick, was born from an egg laid by another penguin couple named Betty and Porky. That couple often hatched their own eggs, but they had never been able to care for more than one at a time. In 2000, when Betty laid 2 fertile eggs, Rob Ramsey, who was the actual zookeeper at the time, decided to give Roy Silo and one of those eggs a chance to become a family. If you go to the Central Park Zoo, you can see Tango and her parents splashing around in the penguin house, along with her friends, including Nipper, Squawk, Charlie, Wasabi, and Pee-wee. There are 42 chin-strap penguins in the Central Park Zoo, and over 10 million chin-straps in the world. There is only one Tango. Only Tango. So this is a true story. It is a non-fiction story. Does that change any of your thoughts for this? If you're a student doing research, this could be a book that you pull up. Does that change any of your thoughts? Okay, can I ask you if that has changed any of your thinking about it? No? Okay, why? What? Okay. Okay. I just want to show you guys that non-fiction books, these are true stories. I don't know if you've ever heard of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It's actually a true story of a woman. Do you know the entire story for that? Okay. Michelle, did you read it before? Yeah. Can you tell us about it?
I don't remember it, I just
Okay. I think it is about a black woman and the struggles that she goes through in her life, but it's very, very difficult to read. I think there are some graphic parts of it, but that's her life. Okay, but it has been banned. They've pretty much said your life is too hard for people to even look at when you read. Okay, but it's a non-fiction story. It's a true story that has been banned off of high school shelves. Okay, so keep that in mind, especially for non-fiction stories.
Mr. Sterner, while you folks were listening to the story, he Googled Tango Makes Three, and he found out one state moved it to the nonfiction section of the library. Right, probably some kids were complaining as much. And many of the other libraries mentioned put it in the restricted section. And it required only parental permission to check it out. Restricted section.
We've had a middle school and high school. So just a book to show you what you guys are heading into. We are going to head down to the library, but let me tell you what's up before we get down there. We have groups of 3 already made for you guys. So you're actually going to take your break before we get down there. When you hop down there, there's a whole table full of children's books. Okay, a lot of them are just picture books as you look through it. I'd like you to grab one for right now within your group. We'll be in groups of 3. And you should read them, and you can read them just like I read it. You should read out loud for your group. Look through the pictures, okay, and fill out your chart as you go through this. I don't want you to fly through these books. Okay, your objective is now to get down there and read through 10 children's books. Okay, you might get maybe 2, 3, or 4 books, depending on their length. Take a look at the pictures, take a look at the words, see if you can come up with the reason why they were banned. When we get back to the classroom, we're going to ask you what you think. Should those books be banned, or should they be allowed on elementary shelves? Okay? You can leave your stuff here because we are going to come back and chat a little more about your books. Be at the library at 9:01.
Shouldn't be that many different reasons. Oh, here it is. It's a white mother with
we have to write to skip pages.
Excuse the interruption, would all seniors report to the cafeteria at this time? All seniors report to the cafeteria at this time.
Some families have two moms. Two dads. Oh, see, not if these two are together. I'll make it.
Mr. Vows.
Found a problem. Biracial and homosexual.
Okay, David, I like a interracial family.
Like a. They're good. I'd rather prefer single white. Oh no, I wouldn't care. I'm just saying. Nothing ugly too. I don't know what you're doing.
No,
Oh, it's normal at first.
it's normal at first. Different story. Did you read this one when you were younger? So it has multiple reasons why this is banned. See if you guys.
Actually, giant monster. It'll scare kids. It'll give them nightmares.
Actually, this. Did you ever read this book?
The Five Chinese Brothers. I'll tell you the truth about it.
Oh my goodness, I read
Oh, you were gonna write stories.
I read it.
Now you should, looking at the cover of that one, come up with a reason already.
They're big monsters. Scare little kids. Nice.
Always in.
And then on the
And it's more organic. You had to eat all of it. Yep. Back and made it stop. You had to eat all of it.
Wow. said, be still. And tame them like a magic tree. Magic tree. Very King. And now, that's a wild rumpus start.
I shall.
Alright, there's nothing.
Guys, can we read this? And you would gather her leaves.
Very much. And the tree was happy. The time went by. And the boy was older. And the tree was left. Then we did a boy gave a tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, and come on, put my trunk and swing from my branches." And he had yes. I'm too big to climb all day. I said, "Boy, I want to buy things for my farm. I want some money. Can you give me some money?"
Don't run away.
Sorry, said the tree, but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy. Oh my God, what a computer. And so I went to the tree to gather her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy.
Feeding his child.
What did the son do? Jackson up. And then one day, talk back to her and she showed what she was expecting. She said, "I don't know what you're doing. I'm too busy to climb trees. So I went away and it was children. And so obviously there's magic and monsters and us. And of course, like my home is my house. But you may cut off my branches and I don't think about the storyline with this. It's the boy that gets the bishop, yells back at his mom, and then what happens? And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time. And ran back to the so happy. So maybe could
It's
hurt
all
his
back is a good thing.
I'm too old and sad. I want to go home. That's what took me far away from here.
Right, but we're they say,
Only because
and
it's
you can read that today.
And you can sail away and be happy. So the boy comes after me. And he fed his son away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy was like, "Sorry, boy, I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone, my teeth are too weak for apples.
Where's Waldo?
My branches are gone."
Is it really a
Not spin on them.
book?
I'm too old to spin on them. My trunk is gone, said the tree. You cannot climb. I am too tired to fly, said the boy. I'm sorry, said the tree. I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I don't need very much now.
Were you looking for it? It's right here.
Well, she was straight up or down, as much as she could. Well, stuff is better than sitting. Boys sit down, sit down and the tree.
Okay, the trick is this is.
Wow. That was, oh my God. Boys just keep it taking. It's raining from the branches. I hate this book.
No, this was just,
Oh my God. Did you read this book?
yeah, I read it in elementary school.
It's terrible.
Yeah, you took a section for that.
Oh, all the flash.
I mean, it was funny.
That's
Well,
what it
that's
is.
fine.
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, I hated interview, but like, I love it so much, I hate it.
What was the age right now?
Or I hate it so much.
Oh my god.
That's why.
People get
Should we know?
There, look, interracial.
Okay, could interracial relationships
Alright.
It was just sitting right there.
You all the trees.
The only people that
I love this book. I hate it.
We're not sure if that, you know, it's a woman, but that's, and I mean, they could say like, for this girl here, like,
Oh, wow, there's a lot of people.
Look at this guy in his man.
Oh, wait, that's why.
No, yeah. Read this book. It is so funny about this tree that gets turned into the sky. It gives everything to it.
The Yeti, dude.
I was just trying, we can use that book that Dr. Seuss has.
Oh, alcohol, look, it's gotta be alcohol.
Governmental relations between the United States and France.
Oh, yeah. Or takes all the birds and all the
That's why I wrote it.
That's
We have the borax in the file too. Yeah. It's a.
Why would someone ban this? It's so cute. Did you read it?
I guess I did.
That's me.
Yes, it is. That's everybody at some point.
Oh,
No, it's
gosh,
still me.
in front of little kids.
I'm not kidding.
Actually, I think
It's such a cute book.
We don't have page numbers.
Yeah, I know what it was. You know why.
Is it because of the alien? That's what we thought. It was just
Keep
police.
looking.
I read it though. That one?
Oh, food.
Oh well.
Might be.
Isn't that divorce?
Yeah.
Could be divorce, it could be.
Oh well.
Saying divorce is okay.
You're from anywhere.
I think anybody would be upset by
I love
that.
trees.
No.
Yeah, and you have to take like 5 years to teach your kids that don't think it's friends. Either that or your kids are crazy. But you couldn't tell them that because they're kids.
You can't look at this from your perspective.
Yeah.
You have
But
to
it's
look
a
at
little
it
book.
You have to look at it from some crazy person's perspective. Yeah, right.
There you go.
Are you
Because, you know, did you ever have this or an imaginary friend?
No, my sister did, but I didn't.
Yeah, is your sister insane?
My sister's,
She grew
well,
up
maybe.
perfectly normal.
No, she's normal.
But a lot of
She's
people
normal.
think this is like a sign of failure. Yeah.
Some,
You
yeah,
had
some
imaginary
parents
friends?
like.
I haven't. Just pretend that you don't know. And I am insane. Thank you. Does it encourage any irresponsibility or anything like that? From some
Maybe
perspective.
selfishness, considering it has like 10 scoops of ice cream in the code, which is not possible.
Oh, we're reading the family book now.
Oh gosh.
Because it's got more cute pictures.
The wellness committee, that's right, the wellness committee. And Howard looks like an Arab terrorist.
Connell. Is that what? No, it isn't.
We found like size
Right here.
Yeah.
Hippies. More alcohol.
Oh, and
And a
there's
little-
interracial. Look at that. Does that count as sexual reference?
Unlawful taking questions for like the bed of stars transmitted was that field
That's the
before
first one I read.
questions came before sea ice, before Macedon, grizzly bear, before Indian, pioneer, before soldiers, the mystery of making,
Why has it been
making,
No, it's the dad's house right here.
Oh my gosh.
Did you get little, let me tell you this other part, you guys can see obviously the announcement. The original one, which we don't have here, she was carrying a bottle of wine. So in the picture, you see a bottle of wine. And parents just what my child is You didn't see it.
I'm
pretty sure that that is all
Alright guys, finish up the very last one that you're working on. Bring down. We're gonna head back to the
Starts out. See, he starts out with all the stuff. And then he ends with the kid.
I gotta say. Jasmine, I have your paper in your pencil. The family book. No, I mean,
page 3.
See, she sounds
They're not like this band. At 2:30 in the morning? I stay till 2:30. Like a beer.
I said no. Hey guys, go ahead and return your book and hop back to the classroom. Hey guys, keep those papers out so we can quickly talk about books that you read. Some of you might have been surprised by the book. I know some of you told me that you read, or you had when you were younger, read Where the Wild Things Are. How many of you read that when you were younger? One of your books. Has anybody ever read The Five Chinese Brothers? That was my favorite. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Was a banned book at the time. Tell me what you guys read and what you came up with for your reason why it was banned. Some things that you found in your book. Wasn't surprising me. Go ahead, Don.
And apparently it was banned because that book was about protecting the environment because the guy wants to kill all the trees, copper trees. And when the book was banned, America was only concerned with getting a little bit of care.
Some of these are written into the context of that time period. So let me give you this example. You guys know where legislation is heading. Do you think this will be a banned book in the next 20 years?
Probably.
Okay, it might be a product of the time period that you're living in. That's exactly what the Lorax is, the time period.
My favorite one.
No.
It's okay to be different by Todd Clark.
Okay, you mind?
It was like a difference in beliefs because there were aliens and different moms and dads, and then like they only had one mom and stuff. So
Okay. Sometimes, you guys talk, I think in that book it talks about single parent families at that time. Depending on how old your child is, parents might want to shield them from what divorce is. Do kids go through their parents' divorces? Are they there during the time period? Should they be able to read about it? That's okay? Probably. Okay, but some parents want to shield them from that.
I know, Linda, you were just disbelieving that that could have been a banned book. You remember this cute man, it's so cute.
it is so
Exactly
cute.
what she said.
All of those books that you guys are reading out there have been banned at some place or another. They're not banned within our school district, but they might be banned in another location. Two more books that you guys read that you're like, whoa, read. The what? Okay, what about? You guys learned about the Cold War with Mr. Hinton last year. Why might somebody not want their child reading that? Okay. Jackie?
Like a Big Tree by Chelsea.
Did you laugh?
It's just this book about this. It's a woman who loves this little boy, and he just comes back and takes everything from her.
Okay, so why some parent might not let their child read this?
Because it's sexist, I guess.
Okay. Or if you're super sexiest.
It is.
It's just like the sexiest book I've ever read. Alright guys, before you get out of here, you have one little ticket out the door for you, so flip that paper over. The paper, whatever. On the very back of your paper, I want you to tell me, should this book be banned? Okay, pick one of the books that you had, your list. Should one of those books be banned from a library? Why or why not? Okay, you might want to use some of the things that we talked about up here relating to intellectual freedom. You might use censorship related to banned books. Should any of those books be banned? Why or why not? You should pick out one of the books that you read. As you guys are writing, just a reminder for you that your defense mechanisms from Freud, you can stick that in my bin at some point in time today. Maybe print it out. Same thing with Macbeth.
Macbeth wrap-up, yeah, if you haven't put the Macbeth wrap-up in there, many of you have, but if not, please put it in the tray.
You said the would be for your rumor?
Yep, I can just be in the bin. Some more times today. When you guys come in here next time, we're going to look at young adult books that you have probably read. So if you've ever read the Harry Potter series, you've read Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, if you've ever read the Bible, so we'll be looking at some of those books that are banned in high school.
Tray on the way out.
Yeah, when the bell rings, you guys can get up and put your papers in the bin on the way out. But hold on to it for right now.
In the tray.